Palms together. यस्त्यक्त्वा रूपमाद्यं प्रभवति जगतो अनेकधानुग्रहाय प्रक्षीणक्लेशराशिर्विषमविषधरो अनेकवक्त्रसुभोगी सर्वज्ञानप्रसूतिर्भुजगपरिकर प्रीतये यस्य नित्यम् देवो हि सहसो भव्यात् सितविमलतनुर्योगदो योगयुक्तः ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Gently bow your head down. Bring yourself to the class. Prepare yourself for the session. When you're ready, gently lift your head up. Open your eyes. Extend arms. Namo Namaha. We will begin today's session with Aigatji's chanting. She will be chanting what she has memorized, Sutra 1 to 25 of chapter 1 for us. Please. Yes.
Samadhipadaha Atta Yoganushasanam Yogachitta Vritti Nirodha Tada Drashtu Swarupe Avasthanam Vitri Sarupyam Nitaratra Vrittayaha Panchatayaha Krishta Krishta Pranamana Viparyaya Vikalpa Nidra Smritayaha Viperyayo Mityajanam Matadrupa Pratishtam Shabdajana Nupati Vastu Shunyo Vikalpaha Abhava Pratyaya Alambana Vitri Nidra Anubhuta Vishaya Asampramoshaha Smritihi Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tannirodha Tatra Stito Yatno Abhyasaha Sato Dirgakara Nairantarya Tatkara Sevito Dridabhumihi Drishtanushlavika Vishaya Vitrushnasya Vashikara Sanja Vairagyam Tatparam Purushakyate Gunavaitrushnyam Vitarka Vichara Ananda Asmita Rupa Anugamata Samprajataha Virama Pratyaya Pyasa Purvaha Samskara Seisho Anyaha Bhava Pratyoyo Videha Prakriti Shraddha Virya Smriti Samadhi Prajna Purvaka Itaresham Tivra Samvegana Masannaha Mrudu Madhya Adimatra Tattvato Api Visheshaha Ishvara Pranidanatva Klesha Karma Vipakashan Yera Pranishtaha Purusha Vishesha Ishvara. And that's it. So,
Audio. Thank you. Thank you very much. We will continue from here. Whenever you chant, Aigat, just let us know. Once you memorize, we will begin the session with your chanting, whatever you progress. Okay? All of us will be delighted to hear you. Yes. Yesterday we discussed about the Apavarga and Bhoga. So we were meditating on the sutra where we discussed Prakasha Kriya Sthiti Sheelam Swarup of the drishya. And भूतेंद्रियात्मक, the भेद और दृश्य कैसा है तो भूतेंद्रियात्मक है. It is bhutendrayatmak. And bhoga apavarga, what is the phala? Whatever we see, why does it exist? For bhoga, experience, and apavarga, beyond experience. Yes, so this sutra discusses or tells us that just like the Ayaskantamani, the magnet, what happens? The Mahat or Buddhi is closer to Purusha, and all of this Drishya is in this Mahat cosmic intelligence. So we take this cosmic intelligence to be the consciousness. It is the closest. Mahat or Buddhi is the closest to Purusha and Prakriti, first evolute of Prakriti. So what happens? This knowledge, we take it to be the last limit, the cognitive faculty. And what is it made up of? Sattva, Raja and Tama. So it is Bhutendriyatmaka. That means these Sattva, Raja, Tama are superimposing on each other in whatever we see. We took the example of the lamp also yesterday. So 5 elements are separate, but they come together towards light. So this example we had taken. Similarly, the evolutes of Prakriti. What is the Prakriti? It's 3 gunas itself. The working of 3 gunas is Prakriti. The 3 gunas are not in Prakriti. The working of the Sattva, Raja, Tama itself is the Drishya, and therefore it goes on expanding. There is no limit to this expansion. So this sutra is actually connected with Sankhya philosophy because it's purely talking about Purusha, Prakriti and Buddhi. So to understand this, we must understand Sankhya very well. Only then this Drishya, what is being seen, the cosmos, is understandable to us. Yes. So yesterday we had discussed what is the takeaway from this sutra? That what is seen is Trigunatmak, Sattva, Raja, Tama, superimposing on each other. One is Pradhana, one is Gauna. That means at one time, one of these gunas are dominant, but rest are also there, but they are in a subtle form. So when we talk about the cosmos, we have seen many scientists have also recently said that the matter has the potential. Means what? The shava, the matter that we are taking, in certain conditions and certain environment, it transforms itself into different evolutes. I will repeat again. The matter has the potential, we say, right? So Sankhya is telling us the same, that there is no creation. There has been simply evolution of this matter or Prakriti. And whatever we see around is simply this unending evolution. At one time, one is dominant, then the other is dominant, then the other is dominant in every object. So for example, when you're listening to a certain sound, now some sound, when it's familiar to you, in that moment, the same sound has sattva. Unfamiliar sound and familiar sound. When you're listening to a familiar sound, there is light, there is knowledge of that sound to you. So there is sattva in the same sound. There is some sound which is familiar to you, but makes you act in a certain way. It gives more knowledge about what the sound is or where it comes from. So in the same sound you're listening, there is rajas also. And this sound cannot be comprehended without the ear. So it also has a form. There is grossness to it as tamas. So the same sound, whatever we see around, is nothing but sattva, rajatama. Therefore, we see the potential in every person to realize oneself as the Purusha. Therefore, for Shastra Adhyan, for the study of Shastras, even a person who has committed many sins is invited. Come listen. Why? Because under certain environment, in certain environment, under certain condition, each object has the potential to transform itself out of these three, sattva, raja, tama. Probably in this moment, tamas is dominant in that person. But the change of environment, in certain conditions, we cannot deny the potential of this person to become a saint. And likewise, a person who has been in sattva, we cannot deny the potential in this person to be full of tamas in a certain environment, under certain conditions. And having thus known this, what we see, the sannyasis, therefore, they create the environment and conditions first. Condition is sannyasa, monkhood. Environment is the monastery. So the drishya which is seen is unending, trigunatmak, gives bhoga and apavarga, experience. It gives bhoga and apavarga, liberation by knowing. It itself has these three qualities. So from 5 elements, it becomes the Bhutendriya. It simply becomes the Gyanendriya, Karma Indriya. The same 3 gunas manifest as the mind. From there, they move towards the ego sense and further Mahat or cosmic intelligence. So we see the closeness of the Purusha with this Buddhi or cosmic intelligence, and therefore what happens with the Purusha? Purusha feels this is the limit, the cosmic, the understanding which I have. I am what I understand. I am my mind. I am what I am able to cognize. But cognition is not the faculty of Purusha. Purusha is the awareness. The awareness that I am thinking, not what I am thinking. This pure light awareness is Purusha. I hope we are able to follow this sutra. You can just make some notes here. Liberation is the goal attained when uncoupling or separation of Purusha and Buddhi is attained. Purusha and the Buddhi. Also, right? The knowledge of distinction between these two entities become clear that is Vidya. The knowledge of distinction between what is seen and who is the seer. Is Vidya. Buddhi has to deconstruct itself. Buddhi or Mahat has to deconstruct itself. No one is actually bound nor is liberated from the samsara. This sutra says, specific to Sankhya. What does Sankhya say? Nobody is actually bound and nobody actually needs a liberation. So if you recall in the past sutras, we have taken the example of a bird sitting on a windmill. The moment the bird sits on the wheel, it moves and comes down, and the bird starts chirping, saying, oh, somebody has caught me, somebody has caught me. The moment there is some air in its natural force felt, the wheel once again goes the other way around and the bird emerges up, flies, says, oh, somebody liberated me, somebody liberated. So this sutra is trying to tell us what? Neither bondage nor liberation. Just understanding the distinction between the two is the purpose of the seer with the seen. Understanding the distinction. Both of these are separate. That is what you may call as liberation. I am not what I see. When we realize I am not what I see, there is liberation. One more example we can take here. I have noted in my notes. The tree. We see the tree's natural tendency to absorb nutrients from the sun. Some knowledge even a tree has. Which direction? The plants, the knowledge which the plants carry. They also carry the knowledge of the entire creation, cosmic intelligence. This knowledge is part of the sattvic aspect of that plant. Its growth, falling of leaves, natural cycle of decay, growth, maturity is a part of Rajas. And in winters, when the sap of the tree goes downward towards the roots and stores itself, becomes dormant, that is Tamas. Sattva, Raja and Tama. The example here is also taken as the tree. With this, we complete this sutra. We will quickly refresh what we studied yesterday once. Yesterday we discussed about Panchamakara, Panchagakara and Panchasakara. Yes? So if we want to move towards moksha, to have this clear distinction between Purusha and Prakriti, what do we have to study under Panchamakara? What is it? What are Panchamakara? We need to give these up. Panchamakara. Moksha chahiye to Panchamakaro ko tyag dijiye. What is Panchamakara here?
Mas, Madira, Mudra, Matsar, and Maithun.
Mas, Madira, Mudra, Matsar and Maithun. इन्हें क्या करना है? त्याग देना है. और मोक्ष चाहिए तो पंच गकार ग्रहण करने हैं. पंच गकार क्या है? What are the पंच गकाras?
Gau, Ganga, Gayatri, Guru, and Govinda.
Yes. Gau, Ganga, Gayatri, Guru and Govinda. मोक्ष चाहिए तो ये पंचगकार का ग्रहण करना है. और पंचसकार क्या है? पंचसकार का अभ्यास करना है. वे क्या है पंचसकार? What are the 5 sakaras?
Sajaga, Shastra, Sudha, Sankalpa, and Sadhana.
Sajaga, to bring awareness. After awareness, Sudhara. What is Sudhara?
Ahamkar.
अहंकार. हमारी गलतियों को सुधारना है. हमें ही सुधारना है. What all mistakes we make, we have to ensure that we correct those mistakes. Yes. And after that?
Shastra study. Shastra Abhyas.
Shastra studies. Then?
Sankalpa.
Sankalpa and?
Sadhana.
Sadhana. Sankalpa Shakti. Every day choosing a thought and allowing that thought to guide us. And sadhana. तो पंच मकार गकार और सकार इन तीनों में ही हमें पूरे सृष्टि के बारे में पता चल जाता है. इन दिस वी हैव बोथ द भोग एंड अपवर्ग, द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ द सृष्टि एंड लिबरेशन फ्रॉम इट, द बोथ. So what am I here to see? the two questions. If I have taken birth, who am I? And whatever I'm seeing, what is that seen in this world? So the purport of this very philosophy, Sankhya and Yoga. Sankhya is a cosmological philosophy. It tells us, where am I? That means whatever I'm seeing around me in the world, I see trees, birds, so many objects. Are they planted by somebody else here, or they were already there before me? And how long they will be? From where did all these objects come? So Sankhya philosophy gives us the answer of, where am I? And yoga philosophy gives us the answer of, who am I? So driga drishya, drishya, where am I? What is being seen? Driga, or the drashta, when we say, who am I? When we study Sankhya philosophy, these two answers are with us. Where am I and who am I? So we call, going forward, the buddhi as alinga and mula prakriti as linga. The word linga or term linga we are opening today, it has been discussed in various ways. But when it comes to yoga, alinga and linga, the mool prakriti is known as linga and buddhi, alinga. Just write one more thing here. Karma nasha. Has there been any kind of karma created by us? Any karma that we have done that we want to get rid of? Or we want to do prayaschitta for those karmas? Right? Karma nashi. Nadiya. Ek. Narmada and Gandaka. Bad karmas. Narmada and Gandaka Nadi. We walk around these. So, 4 important rivers. First is the Ganga. In river Ganga, we take the dip to purify ourselves for the future karmas. Then, river Narmada and Gandaki. What do? We take a pilgrimage around this river as a prayaschitta. As a prayaschitta. And there is one river in Bengal, Damodar. It is said when we take a dip in this river, we take the karmic transactions of other people onto us. So Damodar, therefore known as sorrow of Bengal. It is so energetically charged, that river in Bengal, that maybe there were practices of Tantra earlier. So whenever we take a dip into that river, a person comes back home with more suffering. When a person does a pilgrimage to Narmada and Gandaki, does prayaschitta through the pilgrimage, that means whatever sins have been created or whatever is the guilt in the heart, all of the person gets freed of both of these. Therefore, in Hindu Sanatana Dharma, we say Narmada Parikrama. Circumambulation of this river Narmada, it's very, very difficult. It's in a rift valley. So many people have done there. Just like you have Rishikesh, second destination is Narmada Rift Valley. There also you have higher Shastra Adhyayan, but unseen. It's in state of Madhya Pradesh, and it's completely filled with forest. So great yogis are either found in the Himalayas or in this MP, where we see Bhagwan Shankaracharya also went to study under his guru in Omkareshwar. So Narmada and Gandaki for the removal or cleansing of the karmic transactions in this birth. River Ganga for purification of the next karmas and moksha. And which river to be avoided?
Damodar.
Damodar. Yes. Damodar, right? Karma विनाशी. अच्छे कर्म खत्म कर देती है. बुरे कर्म लाना माने your good karmas exhaust, finish, easily absorbed by this water. So these four rivers have been mentioned in our scriptures, and all these four rivers are still living. Rivers like Saraswati, when you go to Triveni Ghat, yes, there is said to be still river Saraswati, which is not seen on the surface, secretly flowing. Therefore, it's known as Triveni. Three rivers meet there. One of them is Saraswati. Saraswati cannot be seen up, but it is flowing underground. So Saraswati was also one of the important rivers in the Vedas, but that river is no more there. So Prakriti, and when you specially study Sankhya, you go for Narmada Parikrama because you understand the Sankhya very well there. And after that, you come to Rishikesh, Gangaji, to understand yoga further. So when a seeker begins their journey, they're actually supposed to start it from Narmada River. That is, study Sankhya there under the Guru. Then they are eligible to come for the practical aspect. Sankhya is the theoretical aspect. Siddhanta paksha hai. Yoga is the practical aspect. Vyavharik paksha hai. Philosophy is same. Sankhya is evolution. Yoga is devolution, again going back to who, from where we originate. So, Sankhya jo Siddhanta Paksha hai, Sankhya which is the practical part, students study it in Omkareshwar with their guru in ashramas near Narmada Rift Valley. They do the Narmada Parikrama. They understand the evolutes of Sankhya and then they come to Rishikesh for the practice of yoga. This is the correct method of Sankhya and studying of yoga. However, in the present times, this may or may not be possible for everyone. But if you have studied yoga, Yoga Sutras, you must mandatorily study Sankhya Karika also, the Sankhya Sutras. Only then you get the phala spiritually. That means the fruit of studying yoga philosophy. You're not studying, this is like a parayan, this is a sacred grantha. You get the phala of this, of studying this grantha. So for it to be complete, you also have to study Sankhya Karika. Sometime in life you study, no hurry. But the study of Yoga Sutra will not be complete without studying Sankhya equal. In each of the classes, when we come towards the end, I will try to share some of the notes, some of the things which I have received from my Guruji, which I'm allowed to share. Like we discussed about the rivers today, the living rivers, spiritual rivers. So many yogis have taken bath into these rivers that they are very, very spiritually charged. So you must go for this circumambulation, Narmada Parikrama. I'm planning it after 5 years when I'll be into my Mona. First thing I'm going to do in silence is the Narmada Parikrama. So perhaps if all of you are still in touch, I will invite all of you also to join this sadhana. You just have to walk there. There are different ashrams. When you get tired, you spend the night there. Again, early morning, you start walking. In the afternoon, wherever you go. So you cannot cook. You have to be on arms. Whoever gives you whatever to eat, you have to accept that. You cannot carry, you cannot own anything. So for me, Gangaji dip, I have never yet taken, even once. Because the Narmada, I have to go and first bow down to her. When I take her blessings, then when I come to Gangaji, carrying the water from Narmada into her, giving it as an offering, then it will be good for me to continue my sadhana in Rishikesh. So these are very, very core traditional practices, Vedic practices. We know what is to be done, but how to do it is the role of the Shastras to help us understand. See, the Guru is not going to stay with you for long. Guru is going to be a bridge to your spiritual journey. You have to keep walking. So, the Siddhanta Paksha, what you listen, Shravana from the Guru, take up these pilgrimages, smaller pilgrimages, whichever you can, where you reflect, do manana of what you have studied. On the way, if you see few people sitting there and you are tired and you want to sit, share the teachings, do the Nididhyasana. You get the phala of even bringing out these samskaras in other people. You get the fruit of this. Whatever you have learned, if you share it with someone, it becomes multifold. It goes on multiplying. It goes on multiplying. That's the beauty of this. We will chant the next sutra and then we shall conclude here. Bhashyam Dushanantu Gunanam Swarupa Bheda Adharana Midara Ubhayate. So, after gunas, what is to be known about Prakriti, says the sutra. We will chant Sutra 90, 2.90. Vishesha 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 Linga Matra Alingani
Lingamatra
Guna Parvani
Gunaparvani
Vishesha
Vishesha
Avishesha
Avishesha
Linga Matra
Lingamatra
Alingani
Alingani
Guna Parvani
Gunaparvani.
Yes. Just observe this sutra. Vishesha. What is Vishesha? Particularized. Avishesha. Unparticularized. Linga. Distinctive. Matra. Just or only. Alingani. Indistinctive. Guna. The modes. Influences. Parvani. The stages. So the different stages of the guna qualities consist of the particularized and unparticularized, says this sutra. The distinctive and the indistinctive. So for example, this sutra, although we are going to take it in the next part, not today. This sutra, we often see the worship of symbolism. In Hinduism, we worship different symbols, different gods. Yes. So the worship of distinct, different symbols is stored with our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind does not understand words. What is stored in it? Different symbols. Therefore, if we see the earliest of scripts, they were symbolic in nature. There was a lot of symbolism used everywhere. Whatever is in symbols will always stay with us in the subconscious. So, the first category seeker, we had seen different chitta bhumis. So, first category, or we can say the Nimna Adhikari, is supposed to worship the symbols or the idols or the forms or the shapes, not words. First category seeker. The Nimna Adhikari. Then from there, Madhyama Adhikari, words, scriptures, texts, grantha. That is Madhyama Adhikari. And Ucha Adhikari, Nirguna. That which is not seen, meditate on the seer. Are we able to follow this? For the Nimna Adhikari, the sadhana would be related to symbolism, different kinds of symbolism. Therefore, we have the Trishula, Swastika. Om itself is written in word and symbol. I will try to write it, how Om is written non-symbolically, and I will share it with you today after our session. Perhaps you will never see it anywhere again sooner. So, how Om is written as a symbol, how Om is written in the word form also, I will share with you in Sanskrit. So, this symbolic meditation on the Om, seeing it, from writing Om, what you write Om is a symbol, it's not the script. From writing Om to realizing Om, depending on the seeker. Therefore, in Prakriti also we see all of these evolutes. In the next sutra, we'll see Linga. That time you will have more knowledge on this. To do with symbolism. What is the role of symbolism? Why so many symbols with so many gods? What is the reason for it? So every Sattva, Rajatama, they have all their own symbols. Trishula. Trishula itself is Sattva, Rajatama. The matras of a Trishula. So just allow this to be open. We have just opened the sutra. In the next session, we will discuss it. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently bow your head down. Feel grateful for this learning. When you're ready, gently lift your head up. Open your eyes, external eyes. Namaskaram. Dhanyavada. Thank you for attending the part. We will meet again next week. Please go through this chapter recordings. This chapter is very important. We will now soon begin with the 8 limbs of yoga in the coming sessions.